If you're listening on podcast, be sure to tune in to our YouTube channel on YouTube at Wild and Weird WV.
Welcome to Wild and Weird Radio, a Wild and Weird West Virginia podcast. Welcome back to Wild and Weird Radio, everybody. Thanks for joining us yet again for another weekly installment of your regularly broadcasted show. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, we've got an audio version as well that you can catch us on the road. And likewise, if you're listening to us on the road right now, or you're sitting there pushing a cart around in a warehouse, picking stuff at dark 30 in the morning, because we love our night shift crew, remember, we do have a video feed that's running over there on YouTube. We post up and show notes in the video. There's pictures and other kinds of things that you just don't get on audio, but we appreciate you listening anywhere, anytime, all the time.
Definitely get over there and like and subscribe and share to that. And yeah.
Oh, yes, please.
We have a lot of stuff to go over, don't we, kids?
Yes.
It's been a crazy, crazy week. Everything from doing art to getting pulled out into the forest.
Yeah. Oh. So this show actually got postponed. We were supposed to record 2 days ago, but I'm part of a search and rescue crew with the state park systems here in West Virginia. And lo and behold, some dude got lost and we got drug out. And I went and picked up Ron to be my double. And we went out there to go check. Luckily, they found the guy actually just as we were getting there into the forest. He was out soaking wet, and he'd been out in the storm for I think it was total time he was gone was somewhere like 4 to 5 hours, and 2 of that he was just trying to figure out where he was.
It's easy to get lost out there. People don't realize that, but it's a very big area, and you do get lost very quickly out there. But one of the good things is, not to waste a really good opportunity to be out there. Yeah. We did have our equipment, so we took the thermal out there, and we tried to target get some targets and some target data, and we found some
tons of wildlife.
Deer, got a lot of deer.
Big salamanders.
Oh, yeah.
Large frogs. It was great.
Yeah, got to see what an actual possum looks like on thermal.
Yeah, we saw what a real possum looks like on thermal.
Not what we...
Well, honestly, we were shocked at how crisp the details were on the thermal itself, because it was the first time that we'd been out and actually in a wildlife area that was active, and we didn't have to go through a whole lot of brush to try to see something. And
it was right after the rain. They were just out and about.
Everything was just out cruising. We had really good views of the deer, and man, they
lit it up, didn't they? Yeah. It was like those deer were lit up, man. It was awesome.
Oh, did you get to pick up the possum this time?
No.
This possum was about 40 pounds, so no.
Gosh. Oh, man.
He was a horse.
We think it might have been a dino possum, but we're not
sure. This thing was huge.
Granddaddy possum?
Yeah, this thing was...
You Skinwalker Ranch fans know what I'm going for when I said dino possum, don't you?
Yep, dino possum.
But anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So...
So what do we got in the news?
I don't know. Do we have news, Brandon?
Mm-hmm.
Do we? Yeah, okay. Well, I'll hit the button if we have news.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. We're back.
Welcome back to the Wild and Weird Radio News Desk.
Everybody likes to dance during the news break there.
That's right.
So it's good. Okay.
Sometimes it cuts back and catch me getting my
sometimes. Well, it's either that or there's a small earthquake in the studio. Brandon, what do you have for us on the news desk?
Well, the biggest one is that NASA announced a meeting which is going to happen on the 31st, and by the time you listen to this, it's already happened.
Yeah.
And I hope, because at 11:30 there's an FAA presentation that's going to go on for half an hour. So I hope something interesting happens in that, at least.
An FAA presentation. So basically, what's happening tomorrow is there's a big party at NASA. That's what I heard, and it's going to start at 10:30 and it's going to roll to about 2:30. They're even having lunch during this thing, and yeah, like you said, there's FAA presentations. There's everything. One of the more interesting ones that I thought was on there was what was it, Joe? Shoot, it was the they're going to talk about the Arrow presentation, which will be just
yeah,
great to see again. I want to see how this goes over this time.
I want to see how it goes from a different department.
I do too.
That's the only thing. And I got a feeling this is still the government.
Yep.
NASA is still a government-funded organization, so I got a feeling the whole Arrow talk is going to be the same as what we've already got.
We're going to see. NASA is going to explain its role in UAP studies. They're going to be doing data and crowdsourcing. Surprise, surprise. And here's something that I think is interesting. Relevant observations beyond Earth's atmosphere.
That one is going to be interesting because that, I believe, was spawned off by the NASA article that came out saying that there could be a mothership.
I haven't heard anything about that for a while now.
Yeah, that article
dropped.
came out. It was big and loud, and then dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they never said anything else after that. No follow-up, nothing.
Yep. Those are the best ones, guys.
Yep.
The ones we say it all the time. The news that comes out, it's just everywhere, and all of a sudden, within a week, it's gone.
Especially the ones that drop on Friday after 6 p.m.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Those are the ones you want to watch and save.
Yeah. That's why I don't think we'll get too much out of this meeting tomorrow. It's not a Friday. If this were a Friday, I'd be like, man, let's get the popcorn ready.
Yeah, if this was a Friday evening meeting, this would be something you would want to be tuned into.
You got to remember, guys.
This would be, get the popcorn. I'm coming over. I'm cooking dinner. We're going to sit and watch this thing in Mystery Science Theater while it's live.
Yeah, exactly. What else you got, Brandon? This is going to be exciting. So we'll stay up to date with it. Obviously, time travel. It's already happened. So we'll see what I've done at this point. Anyway, Brandon, what do we got?
Another interesting thing that came up off of Live Science is that some scientists have found a way to use ultrasound to put rats into a hibernation-like state.
Fantastic.
That's interesting, and they're wanting to use that on astronauts that travel to Mars.
Well, sure. Why not? Sound will do that. We know this. Sound can be used to alter the mind.
No, we just have to find a way to pickle them while they're in stasis going, so that way they don't age.
Well, I mean, I don't know, Joe.
Dr. Who style.
Speaking of which, do you remember seeing some of the cryogenic stuff that they used to talk about?
Oh yeah. I mean, Walt Disney is the first one that's supposed to be brought back once it's finally ready to go.
Have you seen some of the horror stories about one of the first startups?
Yeah.
I'll have to dig that up for people who don't know, but they went really bad. They went really, really, really bad. We were not ready to play that game, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, some of them just melted and turned into sludge. And just
mostly turned into goo.
Yeah, people sickles.
Yeah.
Weren't they just freezing heads at first, too?
They were Yeah, they did that at first, but then they started freezing full body and whatnot. But it just terrible stuff happened. Just nasty. So it don't work. That's what I'm getting at. So save your money. And we're not going to talk about cloning because that'll
summon Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do that.
And we will. We'll have to go on an hour-long tirade.
Can't do that.
With his spirit about.
Yes, we can't do that. Brandon, what else do you have? Anything else?
Another interesting thing that popped up, and I've seen this a couple times, but it hasn't hit mainstream media yet. But this former CIA agent claims that when he was about to retire, they had him going through old files, and he found a whole file on Roswell that had pictures of the crashed spacecraft, unidentified life forms that were also on board. But he wouldn't go into details about what any of that looked like because he says that he doesn't want to divulge all the secrets for some reason. So this could be a misinformation agent. Who
Yeah, I'm
knows?
going with misinformation on this, especially since Arrow's open for business and anyone can go knock on the door and say, "Hey, I want to talk," and they can literally go in there and talk free of their all their NDAs, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
this seems really
This is sketchy.
dowdy like,
Yeah.
or Doty, whatever his name was.
No,
I think
you're
it was
talking about
Doty.
Richard
Richard
Doty,
Doty.
right? So you're thinking about,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a double agent basically right there,
Yep.
right? I mean, it's like, oh, some of this stuff's true, some of this stuff isn't true. Just mix it together
The
and
lie
boom,
sandwich.
there it is. Yes, absolutely. More like a lie ham salad sandwich kind of thing. Anyway, well, I think that's the news. Is that right? Are we good?
Yep.
Good on the news? Because I'm going to hit the button and get our guest in here. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, guys. This week's episode is going to be a fun one. We have a special guest with us. We have Jennifer Curtis here with us from the Spooky South. And without further ado, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
We're
We're
doing
good.
great.
We're good. It's spooky down your way, we hear.
Yeah, can be. I mean, I live right
Yeah.
outside of the Oak Ridge National Lab, so
Spooky
there's
down
some
your
weird
way.
things that go down around here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being really flexible with us, so that way we can reschedule for tonight. It was Sunday got weird.
I'm glad you guys found him. I mean, that's the
Yeah, they found him. It was like I helped him get to where he was because like I was bouncing back and forth with the 911 team, and they were talking to him on the siren system, and then they would get back and relay to me like, okay, here's what he's seen. Where is he at? And so they were able to get that isolated, and they made it out there to him before it got real bad. Like if it had been real bad if we had to get out there and deploy thermal technology to try to find the guy because it was cold. It was I think 49 degrees that night and rainy.
Yeah, it's been unusually cold around
Yeah.
here too.
But they found the guy just soaking wet, cold, and really upset.
Hey, he's alive. So
It had been raining for like 2 days straight at that point too.
Yeah,
I picked a bad time to go out there.
I feel
Yeah,
maybe
it
there
wasn't
was
the
a
best
phone in
time
a
to be there.
holler getting washed away or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they like I said though. Luckily they were able. I knew where he was lost at like the back of my hand. I grew up in that forest, so I was give me landmarks, and I know I can get you out. And but it worked out really well. So now that we've got all that out of the way, we got that dude out of the forest. We're all sitting here together now on the reschedule night. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into what you're doing now? Because I know before when we were off air there, you had mentioned that you're also a musician as well, and so you've got that art inclination. So give us a little bit of background on you.
I'm kind of, I guess, a Jennifer of all trades because I'm not a Jack. I've always been a nerd. When I was a kid, I was in year-round school, and I was like the only kid in my neighborhood in the year-round school. So I spent my summers and breaks at the library, and I read a lot, and I now have a massive library. So you read, and then you get down to things. And when I was a kid, I saw a UFO when I was a kid. And nobody believed me. And it was one of those, you see it. Oh my God, Dad, Mom. They're like, haha, sure, it's a helicopter, kid. Okay, yeah, whatever. And then the X-Files happened. And I was like, oh, the X-Files. And my parents were like, it's really great. You want to be an FBI agent and you want to like be into that science stuff, but that's a lot of math and you hate math, which I do. And they were like, nobody chases aliens with a badge and a flashlight.
Fast forward.
They lied to me. Oh my God, they all lied to me. So I was like, grew up, found another love, music. And I just dove right in because, I can't be an FBI agent and go chase aliens with a cool partner. So I'm going to go play music.
What's funny is like a lot of people interested in our stuff are also artists of some kind.
I'm in a group that I talk to on Twitter, and half of us are bass players.
Mm-hmm.
That was not intentional, guys. We just found out. We're all bass players. So it's like
That's
I
funny.
want a convention with a jam session. But,
There you
yeah.
go.
So I grew up and started playing music, and I was really good at it. Went to Allstate. Went to went to college on it, the local community college, and then I moved to Nashville, and I started playing bass professionally because bass plays more than cello and French horn, and it's easier. So I started playing that, and you're out, you see, kind of sucks because you're out on holidays, you're out on every weekend, you
Yep.
have to be in your makeup and presentable and nice. It's very political, like
Yep.
you have to be, oh, everything you do is great. I totally support you. You're awesome. Let me go have some beers with you. Let me buy you a beer. When in fact, you actually can't stand that human being, but you
Yeah.
need the paycheck, so you have to do it. And I just
Yep.
Oh,
was
yeah.
like,
Yep.
I'm going to go wait tables. It's at least I can do what I want afterwards, and I don't have to worry about being nice to one guy with a beer. I don't care. But yeah, after that, I moved around a lot and tried to, I guess, find myself and figure everything out. And
Been there, done that.
yeah, one thing led to another. And that 2017 article came out, and I was like, what the? Are you serious right now? Like,
I had a
it
mild
was,
panic
that was a
attack when
huge
that came out.
groundbreaking event.
Yeah.
it was like, are you serious? And then I start like digging and digging, and then I don't know if you guys are familiar with the used bookstore we have around here, McKay's. It is literally a godsend. And if you are in
Oh
the
wow.
Raleigh, Winston-Salem area, Knoxville, Nashville, or Chattanooga, there's a used bookstore there, and it's like so cheap. And I have literally stocked my library with them. And I found all these books. They were like, oh, the day after Roswell.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yeah.
good stuff, the
Oh,
old stuff.
Some Jim
Good.
Mars about,
Yes.
the rise and fall of the Fourth Reich and
Yeah,
all
Jim
this
Mars.
stuff. And I was like, Operation Paperclip was an episode of The X Files. You're telling me that was a
Mhm.
true story, and then I'm just
Yeah.
start digging. And once you slip on that banana peel and go down the rabbit hole, you ain't getting out. I'm sorry. You ain't getting out unless you have a huge traumatic life event that tells you, I'm going to die if I don't leave. Which I don't have kids or like a family, so let's go. You don't irradiate me and kill me, I'm going to figure out your secret.
I mean, I've got wife, family, kids, all that good stuff, but we still go out and we pack the Geiger counters because like I'm gonna get zapped eventually. We're at least we're just gonna know why.
Does your family support you with this?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
like
so
now
awesome.
like my mom and stuff. My mom and my dad they're on they don't.
Like they're on, they don't. That was a really good. I like that description.
Yeah,
That makes.
Doesn't want me to seem like I'm crazy, so I
yeah,
have to
like
be allegedly, supposedly, they say are
But-
my favorite phrases when I talk to her. 'Cause
yeah.
my dad is like straight on love Tucker Carlson and watching all of
Now
that.
see, my grandparents are a totally different story.
Yeah.
Ah,
My grandparents they're in it. They're like, yes, you were doing what can I go? But my mom thinks we're goofy and like
my dad's
for-
ready to offer ET a beer. Like
and there's like I deal with my dad a few times a year and it's always like there's a joke jab here and there about it, but I was like, hey,
Well, they
we're-
used to joke with me, but they don't joke so much anymore.
yeah with the UFO topic,
Not
that's
anymore.
nobody touches the UFO stuff anymore.
my significant other has a friend who made a smart comment. He's like, "Well, I wish they just buzzed the White House." I'm like, "They did." In
They did.
52.
Mhm.
There
They already
was a
have.
whole
1952, several
there
times
was a
actually.
whole week of flybys.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Don't get me started. I am a literal encyclopedia for UFO sightings, so let's not."
And this wasn't just something that was made up and put in an article. This happened.
No, it happened.
It was
Oh,
witnessed
yeah.
by thousands of people.
The Air
And
Force
Radar
chased them
signatures.
down.
Yes.
yes,
We
Yes.
don't scramble jets unless you really think something's there.
There's hard data to support it, so you can't just blow it off. That's the
There's a
thing
lot
about
of
those
hard
52
data.
sightings.
They don't. Yeah, there's a lot of hard data. Nobody wants to talk about it, or they just been like, it's so old, and it's like, yeah, but
It's inconvenient.
That's because Project Blue Book said that they were weather phenomena in the clouds, like sudden
Yeah.
heat bursts or something that triggered the radar, and that's how they swept it all under the rug.
and everybody just wants to pay attention to Project Blue Book, but they don't want to pay attention to the scientists that ditched it. We're like, there's a
Yeah.
problem. We have a problem, which
Yep.
I'm fully expecting some of these scientists, I hope, to say this about tomorrow's meeting at NASA, because the first person they list on their scientists is Dr. Nadia Drake, and she has already said she is not looking for aliens and she does not want to find aliens. So
Mhm.
it's like, as a
Biased.
scientist, how can you go in there with a biased thing and
Yeah.
say you want to find something or you don't want to find something? Like, that makes me wonder, if you do find evidence or data that may suggest that, are you just going to write it off? Is this one
Yep.
of your outlying data points you're just going to wipe
Right.
off the board? Because I'm pretty sure, I think it's Avi Loeb that's like your
Avi.
outlier data. Yeah,
Yeah.
Avi.
Yeah.
Avi
Avi.
Loeb is
Avi's the one who's going to do it if it gets done. In my
Your
opinion.
outlying data is the
Yeah.
most important data.
Yes.
That outliers, because they're the ones that don't fall in line. They're the
Yeah.
ones that you need to really look at.
Well, you got right now Nolan is out there, and he was the first one that was really involved with some government stuff here in the modern day.
I
He became a
fully believe he's our first member of the Invisible College to be visible. Like,
oh
straight
yeah,
up.
like it's
Mhm.
that's I'd bite on that. The he came out and he was just like, hey, this is a problem, and this UFO event did happen, by the way, and I met this person. I looked at their medical records. There was tremendous biological side
Well,
effects based off of
I mean,
radiation.
dude, he worked with Kit Green, and Green threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that tell you? That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah,
as far
and
as
let's
I'm
be
concerned.
real here. Kit Green threw him under the bus. How effective was that based off of how everything's been going?
Not so
He
much
tried
now.
to throw
but
him under the bus.
he tried to throw him under the bus.
That's
I'll
what
give
that
you
was.
Yeah.
He
did
really
try.
tried, like, because I
Tried to
remember
throw
when
him
that
under the bus,
first
but he
happened, me and
stopped
you
the
had
bus.
that conversation,
Yeah.
and we were like, he's throwing him under the bus. He's trying to make this like a disinformationist kind of thing, and he's separating himself, and it did not work the
It
way it
didn't.
was supposed to.
Thankfully.
It
Yeah,
it
he's
almost seems to
smart.
have validated more
Yeah.
Nolan's argument, and it's gotten him more appearances, more interviews than
Oh,
anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're talking about people wanted the data forever.
Mhm.
You know, this is somebody who's got the data, and I like his approach on things. He goes where the data leads him. He's not biased. He just goes where he leads him, and that's how you should be. The data should lead you. You should never lead the data.
Yes.
Jennifer, you said that you had seen a UFO at some point.
Yeah.
I'm an experiencer. I've talked about it multiple times at this point. I'm okay with it now, but for years I never told anyone. And I'm imagining you kind of did the same thing pretty much, except for outside your tight friend group.
Not even like.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think I told my friends that. were
Wow.
Deep into the X-Files, like we would come in Monday morning and be like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Our little preteen selves were just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck's Mulder do?" And just Dana Scully is everything, But like, I didn't even tell them because I self-redacted. I don't.
Yeah.
If you guys have ever read American Cosmic, that is the number one thing most experiencers do. I don't think I saw that. I just
Right. Yeah, you reasoned it away. I mean, it's yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
I didn't share my sighting that I had of a Bigfoot-like creature.
It's kind of the same
when
thing.
I went back into school. I didn't talk about it with anybody, and then a couple days later, 9/11 happened. So like, I didn't have to talk about it anymore.
yeah,
It wasn't even. It was the farthest thing from the conversation.
God, right. That happened. That changed everything.
Oh yeah. But the whole thing being, like you said, there comes a point where you do you question things, and it's not that you question it. Something happened. It wasn't a dream, but it's okay because it had to be.
Well, see, here's the thing. Where I have my sighting, I'm from Florida originally. I'm from Brevard County, Florida.
Okay.
Where I grew up is called Merritt Island, and Merritt Island is right next to Kennedy Space Center and
Yep.
Patrick, what is now Space Force Base. It used to be Air Force Base back then,
Yeah.
as I'm old. But, you see something weird in the sky then, and you're like, is that the Air Force flying something?
Right.
Did NASA decide to take something up? What is going on? I don't know. Whatever. It didn't bother me. It didn't do anything. It was really funny. Is I just whatever. It's a UFO, you know. And then it was one of the Dr. Greer's documentaries, which I have my opinions about him now, but at the time, I saw that and I was like, "Oh my God, there's the sighting." He literally had the craft I saw on film, and I was like,
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, you just do that, and you're like, run. Oh my God, that's it. That's it. And like, I freaked out. My boyfriend's like, "Whoa, okay." And I mean, he's totally into this stuff too. So
Yeah.
we have
Well,
little
that's good.
figures all over the house and everything. Like, watch it. We got a big backyard. One day I'm gonna build a UFO back there.
Greer's one of those guys who used to be credible, and then he went down too far in the rabbit hole. Now he's like completely off the tracks.
And you know, part of me
Did the
wonders,
government
like,
do it to him, or did he do it to himself?
What'd she
Did
just say?
himself.
Bingo.
What did you just say? Say that again,
Bingo.
Jen. Say that again.
Did the government do it to him, or did he do it to himself? Did he pay that pilot to drop those flares in Vero Beach, or did the government want to be like, you getting way too close and you're getting way too good with this? Let's drop some flares at his CE Live event.
I mean, you don't know. That's the
I mean,
problem with this
people
stuff.
The people that attended that paid enough to pay for those flares 10 times over. So
They really did, and that's the part that really bugs me, and why I have so many opinions, because I'm poor.
But he did do a lot of good in the beginning.
he's
Yeah,
what
he did.
started this.
He
this
started-
ball rolling.
Yeah.
And the sad part is, man, you know, we've seen it happen in the community on the UFO, the Bigfoot, all of it. You know, he basically is the Todd Standing of the Bigfoot community.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
I guess that's the way to
started
look
off
at
doing
it.
great work,
Mhm.
and great work, and then all of a sudden the attention's off you for a while.
It's
You
that
need
ego.
that. You need that limelight. You need that because you're already addicted to it. You know, you've developed an attachment to being in the public eye. You've got to get it back somehow. So, what's the best way to do it? Well, what got me there in the first place was evidence. So, if I don't have fresh evidence, I generate evidence, and then that generated evidence, when it comes out that it's fake, it just destroys credibility.
Yep. And
Sort of like what's happening with
are they
Corbell right
really
now.
emotional? It could be. I really hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know. That 29 Palms video, that was definitely not flares. There were flares in that video, but that was not flares the whole time. So
I want to see the rest of that.
Yeah, I want to see all of it.
I want to see it
Yeah.
all. Before I make any decision, I want to see it all. But
I've
as
seen-
of
I've seen
right
the
now,
clip of the thing hovering, and then I've
Yeah.
seen the clip of when they shot the actual flares over, the illuminated flares. I saw those falling down on it, and that's all I saw.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand why.
Well, that was what they try to say the Phoenix Lights were too, or just flares.
Well, the interesting thing about this, Brandon, is that thing looks almost exactly like the Phoenix Lights.
Pretty similar, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a dead ringer, guys.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm not calling it flares yet because I don't know what it is. I'm waiting for more data, and until I get that, I can't call it. But it's
At least they didn't
fascinating.
have a public hearing like they did in Phoenix, where the mayor came out with a guy dressed like an alien.
Did you see his interview with James Fox where he was like, "I really regret it."
Yeah, where he were.
Yeah,
You know, in the
Yeah,
past,
you do.
yeah, you
we've
should regret
actually
that.
covered that on a previous episode.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
We had a witness of the Phoenix Lights on the show who's a good friend of ours, and we talked about it then. We also talked about it in the history of ufology too. But the you know, that total 180 in his take on the Phoenix Lights now.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how valid and how real that sighting was, and the experience that everyone had.
10,000 people saw it. Like,
I remember seeing that on CNN, and it terrified me. I thought for sure we were getting invaded.
I was like, "Is Mulder and Scully real? Y'all need to get them." Like, whoever inspired them, call them, because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something going on out there.
Oh, there was definitely something going on out there. There's too many
been
people who've
something,
seen
there's still
things.
something going
They even
on.
scrambled jets for that, didn't they?
Yes. Yes. Base was on alert. Yes.
So what's your? We talked about UFOs here a lot. What is that? It seems to be your favorite topic, I guess, in what you dive into, or you more of a paranormal generalist?
I really like just the paranormal because I don't think that it's a one-sided topic. I think it's a
Yeah.
multifaceted topic. Poltergeist, Bigfoot, they're all interconnected. They're all interconnected, and
Yep.
everything I see and everything I've read points to that it's all interconnected. Like I love Bigfoot, but you know, not a lot of the people want to talk about Bigfoot with me, so that's okay. I'll just read about him. You know,
We'll talk about Bigfoot with you all day. You just need
I
to
love
jump
it.
on with us. Come
Dude,
come
my
out, hang
favorite
out.
My favorite one's Dogman. That's scary. I love it.
Mm.
It's
Oh
terrifying.
yeah, I see you over
That
there.
is-
Oh god,
I'm back.
They're
Carry
both
on.
like I
So
don't
crazy.
want to have a run in with it, but I'm not like it is one of the I do think it is one of these phenomena that when you look into the dog man looks back at you, sort of
That's
thing.
one of the ones I wouldn't mind tagging and bagging. I don't want to shoot
It's
a Sasquatch.
weird.
I'll shoot Dogman though.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't know if it'll work
terrifying.
because this thing seems real spectral because it
Yeah.
does. I've never heard a dogman report that didn't involve like either A, some kind of weird missing time, B, this thing phasing out of existence, or C,
Portals.
portals,
Portals.
or D, mutilation.
I heard a story.
All
where a
those things
guy-
together are bad.
Those
guy
things, all four,
supposedly-
none of you, you don't want it.
A guy supposedly shot one with 3 rounds from a 357, and it didn't affect it.
I
Kept
heard
coming.
that story.
Yeah.
I heard that story. Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
But you have to also remember that you could be dealing, like we said, the data is pointing to the fact that we can be dealing with something that is literally putting those images in our heads.
That
That's
reminds me of that
weird, yeah.
story from Skinwalker Ranch about that weird, huge dog thing that came up to the rancher, and he
Yeah,
shot
man.
it with a 30-06
I
and didn't do
remember.
anything to it.
yeah.
Yeah,
The lady said she was driving her car. Now we all know how big cars were back then.
yeah.
They're like as big as they are now.
Yes.
And its chest stood up to the window, like, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
huge.
That's
we
bigger
get
than a dire
coyotes
wolf.
In my yard.
And
We got coyotes in my yard, and they're big. Like they're
But see,
big.
the one
but
that
that's a
nobody
coyote.
really talks about much there at Skinwalker Ranch, because you get the dire wolf that was walking, had that massive dire wolf. It's the one that was in the kitchen smoking a cigarette.
I'm not real familiar with that one.
Yeah, that's this other report. The same people who are living there on the ranch, they encountered this upright dog creature, this canine like humanoid, and it was smoking a cigarette.
I've seen those pictures. I've seen that dramatization before, but I don't think I've ever like gotten to read the Sherman account of that one.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of weird stuff.
God,
It was
I
sitting
wanna
right in the
go
kitchen.
there so bad. Like, I no joke. I would love to just chill. Hey, do you guys? wanna
Sherman's
grow
also
some
had they had hitchhiker effect follow them when they left the ranch too.
stuff?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
They had
did.
stuff going on for years afterward.
Yeah, like Kelleher and his family.
Yep.
And Bartell said he's had some come back with him as like, and Chris Bartell actually has pictures of paw prints next to the dog paw prints that are 3 times the size. Like,
Wow.
these are legit pictures. Like, he
Yeah,
has
they took a
dogs.
casting off of the one where the family had seen, the dog creature thing, staring at them outside, through the window. So yeah, there was actually physical prints there, which is just absolutely crazy.
Physical traces are just like, what? Let me
Yeah.
let me get that data.
Yeah.
It doesn't help, Jen. I'll promise you, it doesn't help.
It-
Sometimes it just makes you ask so many more questions.
I mean, I'm going to do that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. My parents said when I was a little kid, my favorite 2 questions were why and can I touch it?
Yeah. So
Not
that's
in
my
the
son,
stage.
but that was me too.
Why I'm gonna touch it? That's
Yep.
good.
I
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's like-
like, can I touch
I know
it?
it's like raising one of those.
That's probably why I'm not having kids.
So, what are some projects you're currently working on?
Well, I host a UFO book club on Twitter all the time.
Cool.
We're always reading something, and we always have a space lined up. And right now we're reading Paul Radin's The Trickster, which is Native American myths. They're like creation myths of how this happened and how that happened, and there
Nice.
are way too many fart jokes and genitalia jokes in this book that I was not prepared for. I read like the first 2 chapters. I was like, what did you guys get me to read? What are we doing?
That's funny.
It definitely relates to the phenomenon and everything, and the natives definitely have a better grasp on what's going on than I think we do.
Agreed.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's always fun. But
What's funny to me is like if you compare like their creation myths to like say like the ones from Europe, like the older ones, especially the Middle East, they all have a lot of similarities.
Like the tribe myths, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's a lot of similarities in creation myths across the planet.
There's a few common things. Usually, someone came out of the sky. Usually, the Earth was created through some kind of catastrophe, which we know that happened from Big Bang and all that stuff.
Water's receding.
Yeah.
Everyone
The Earth
knows
was
that.
filled with water, and then suddenly land appeared. We know that actually happened too. And sometimes there's even like creation myths about the moon. Like there was a huge catastrophe, and part of the Earth broke off and created the moon, which we know that happened now.
Yeah.
We know that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a weird subject. The moon.
You'd almost think they kept a record of this.
It's almost
Yeah.
like they did, didn't they? At some point, maybe.
I always, but when you read books written by white people that are about Native American stuff, you really got to take a grain of salt or two
Oh.
with it.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly sent a message to it's the Winnebago tribe is what they're saying, but the Winnebago tribe is actually the Ho-Chunk tribe. That's what they call themselves. So I messaged the Ho-Chunk tribe, and I was like on Twitter, I was like, hey, my book club's reading this book, and it's really confusing. We don't know what this means, and we also don't know if Mr. Raiden got this right. We don't know if one of his native friend was pulling his leg, and he wrote it down.
Or in a lot of cases, they don't even speak to the natives. They just base it off other books that they've read
Yeah.
Or like
or internet
somebody
searches.
who's on the outskirts of the tribe who wouldn't know anyways because they're not going to share it with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot,
Happens.
but I'm hoping to get back onto Twitter and find a message back from them. That'd be great.
There you go.
But if anybody's interested, UFO Book Club, you can find that. That's a hashtag. Follow it. You'll find me. I promise. I'm 99% of those posts.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have some crazy spaces.
That's
I
really
have one
cool,
with
though.
like 800 people in it almost. We were talking about John Keel. Go figure.
Ah,
Yeah, Keel's what's up.
good old Keel.
Yeah, you gotta read your Keel. You gotta read your Keel. If you want to be in this, you have to read your Keel. And I recommend starting at the Mothman Prophecies.
One thing that people don't talk about very often
What's that?
is from the Mothman Prophecies book is like after he started investigating Mothman, all the weird stuff that started happening to him, it was almost like a hitchhiker effect that started
Phone
following him
calls,
around.
Have the water. Someone tells him he'll help him with the water. Like,
It's almost like it happens to most
Wild.
people who start researching Brandon.
oh yeah, once you hit that rabbit hole, the
Yeah.
entities just drag you
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, they do.
The
Yeah,
one
they don't-
thing that everybody should take away from it
Bloods.
is not lead your witness.
No. Oh, speaking of
This is
which, if you
true.
ever want to do any of that, I highly recommend Admissible by Chase Klotsky because she's got a whole entire a book. Pretty much, if you've never gone out in the field and you've never interviewed anybody, this will tell you exactly how to do it. And it's fill in the blank. You can Xerox it and use them. She
That's
doesn't care.
nice.
It's great and it's not expensive.
That,
It's like
that would have came in handy.
Yeah,
Right.
Kill should have had one of those.
No, I'm not talking about Keel.
Oh, I am.
I know he's not a
Everybody
Keel
knows
fan.
how I feel about
He,
John.
he's not a Keel fan. It's just one of those things. I think you have to look at the good things that Keel did do, opposed to, it's kind of like Greer. Let's be real. Greer did good things too. Yeah. Did he do some goofy things later? Yeah. So it's all the same thing.
Ray Barker.
Gray Barker. Same thing. It's all the same, man. It's all the same.
Keel got really, really dark and depressed at the end of his life.
Yeah.
He did.
Like And I'm watching
Yeah.
Diana Pasulka do the same thing.
Well, you saw, I mean, toward the end when he came to the conclusion, well, this is all a trickster thing. It's all, this is Trojan horse, Operation Trojan horse, the whole thing. There's a reason he got that way, because he lived in this, well, he lived in a belief system, first of all.
He did.
And if you are in that belief system, it will drag you down. If you just look at the data, yeah, absolutely. So you have to really look at just the data and try to divorce yourself of that. But it's hard.
And there's also a combination of the belief system and the fact that so many of these, and Kill to a degree was one of them. He wasn't as guilty as this as some other of the old timers. But they truly thought they were going to solve this.
They really did.
Don't we all?
And
no.
no, we've abandoned.
Have you been on the internet lately?
No,
Oh,
look,
gosh.
we abandoned trying to. We're just data collectors.
No.
And a lot of these
don't blame you.
authors and a lot of these pioneers, they thought they were going to solve this. And when their lives were drawing to their end, they got in these depressed states because the one thing that they chased after fervently for most of their life was out of their reach at the end of it. They didn't have their answer.
No.
They didn't have the computing power and the technology to tackle that.
You have that, and you have this phenomena, though, that it almost seems like no matter how close you get to it's like that treasure thing, right? Like, you remember the old tale of the treasure when you're digging down for the buried treasure, and it before you get to it, it just goes a little deeper, and you never get to the treasure. It's kind of like it's it's kind of like Oak Island, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but no, for real, this thing just seems to be, it messes with you.
And it lies.
It challenges you.
It lies to you.
It absolutely does. It confuses people. It makes people question things, question other people. It's also this. I don't think you're dealing with one central thing. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with this. So many people think we're dealing with this one central thing. And the one truth that came out of the UAP report, there are multiple explanations for this phenomena. That is probably the only truth that was spoken in there, I think.
Yeah.
And
some things are
Yeah.
plausible, but then some things are like, what?
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's like Stan Gordon always says, the phenomena is so strange it protects itself. He says that all the time. It's like, yeah, Stan, one of my things is I come back at it like, well, maybe it's designed to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great camouflage. If I am just, gonna put this crazy thing in your head, you're never gonna believe that. And then likewise, maybe that's part of a validation. Maybe if I do that and you go out and tell someone, and, hey, I was a little girl and I saw, a 6-foot hippo in my bedroom, and you tell somebody that story later on, they're like, what? Wait, that happened to me too. Now, how can you ignore that kind of validation?
right.
And,
There's abductions from the 1700s that are identical to ones that happened
absolutely.
last year.
Yes.
Like,
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think someone made that up in the 1700s? How do you make that up?
Not unless you're time travelers, right?
And that's a whole another can of worms.
That's right. But that's the beauty of this phenomena. It's so multifaceted and it is so complex. And you can see, I mean, it literally is, it is the land of confusion. This is what Phil Collins was singing about right here. This is what it was.
yeah,
Wild, weird, spooky. Place.
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
the above.
Like all of it. It's just
All the above. But no, Jen, we quit. We honestly, we don't tell people what anything is or even try to. We're just like, here's the data. You guys go and do your thing.
I'm not going to tell you what it is, but here's a book
Nope.
you can read about it. This
Yep.
might help.
Yep.
That's as far as I go. I don't.
Yep. Here's some data. This is,
I
this
can
is
tell you what it wasn't.
40 years
I
of
usually
research.
end up having like 3 or 4 different theories, and then
Yeah.
those 3 or 4 theories will change into something else.
That's how it works,
about
man.
Something.
Yeah.
You should never, it should always morph. It should always change
Uh-huh.
based upon the data that you get. If it doesn't change, then you're doing something wrong.
yeah. If your
Which means
opinion
saying,
doesn't morph
I
with
don't
the
know
data,
a lot.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. You said,
and that's
I
good.
don't know a
That's
lot.
healthy. There's
Yeah.
there's too many people that
That know.
I've sat in question and answer sessions with
Yeah.
and listened to them talk, and no matter what question is asked,
They have an answer.
they have an answer for it. And that's one of the most
Yeah.
unhealthy things that you can do,
Really is.
because you're
Someone's gonna come
ultimately
along
you're
and
not going to
shake
answer the
that
question.
faith tree, and your faith tree is way too rigid, and it's gonna break. You
Yep.
gotta loosen up. You just
You've got to be able to be okay with saying I don't know.
I was
You really-
convinced for a long
you do.
time Mothman was a physical alien, and that
Maybe it
changed a few years ago.
Physical, huh?
Yeah.
who knows? I don't know.
Physical.
I can tell you
Hmm.
physically did things.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it was physical to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's physical things that happened.
Absolutely.
And as far as we know, I mean, unless you're Yuri Geller, you can't use your mind to physically affect things. Most, like 99% of us can't do that.
Yep.
We just have never tried. We don't have the ability. We don't have the determination, the stamina, the, whatever it is. Maybe even
Technology.
maybe it's just the genetics. Maybe you're just not genetically predisposed to do that. But like most of us can't affect reality, and few people can, and those people are scary.
It's
I
true.
think my favorite case of that is the Bell Witch.
Oh yeah.
I love that story, like because I just read like the husband's account that he wrote, and I was like, what?
The Bell Witch was just a phenomenon of complete high strangeness.
Absolutely.
Absolute high
One
strangeness.
of his sons also wrote an account later on. It was like 20 or 30 years after the whole incident happened.
I
I
don't
forget
know,
which one it was.
I don't know who wrote this account, but it is like from the notes of the husband who asked Betsy Bell in a hypnotic state when hypnosis was a brand new thing, what happened. And it's like, I'm not going to tell people because I really want them to read that because it's mind blowing. And it's like, what? That is insane. It's a real tulpa. She really
Yeah.
created a tulpa.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It
that's
seems like-
exactly what she did.
Yeah.
That could have been created from their strict religious beliefs that they had.
Or the slaves' strict beliefs.
Yeah, or that
Mhm.
too.
Like, they wanted to blame old Kate Bat, but she was just the crazy redhead next door.
Hmm.
I empathize with her. It's a crazy redhead, so yeah.
I'm sure we would have all been blamed for witchcraft back in the day.
Oh, man, I was probably burned at the stake in a past life. It's cool.
Yeah. Few of us have been, I'm sure.
What's that you believe in? Ghost? You're a witch.
Oh my God! Somebody walked by your house and heard something. Die!
Ground them.
She turned me into a newt.
Are they heavier than a duck?
Oh my
That's fair.
goodness.
My cousin told me she was doing ancestral research, and one of our ancestors' sisters was hanged as a witch at some point in history. I
Oh,
forget
wow.
where.
Hmm.
Damn.
It happens.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's closer
Yeah.
than what you think, my friend.
Yeah.
Closer than what you
Sometimes it
think.
wasn't that long ago either.
Around in these parts here, they don't take too kindly to that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, gotta get you ostracized from your community
Oh, yeah.
real fast.
So, what about other paranormal events down your way? Ghosts, orbs, strange lights, anything like that going on of late?
I saw a ball of lightning one time.
I saw ball lightning actually before too.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, man. How
Yes,
big
and
was
it's
your ball of lightning. Like,
it was not very big. It was literally about like this, and it was traveling along a power line, like literally right on top of the power line, just moving very slowly. Orange, bright orange plasma. It was the coolest thing I've
Wow.
ever seen.
I
It was awesome.
if you're ever in Knoxville, you absolutely have to go to the Fort Dickerson Quarry. It's beautiful. Bring your swim trunks. It's a swimming hole.
Okay.
It's crystal clear. It used to be a quarry. They hit the bottom, and when they hit the bottom, it filled up with water too fast. And
Oh.
like there's literally machines at the bottom of this.
Oh wow.
There's $1 million worth of construction machinery at the bottom of this quarry. people like dive and everything for like their diving test there. It's really cool.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
So whoever built that is the ones who engineered Oak Island. Is what you're saying? I got you. Cool.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But there
Anyway.
used to be an electrical substation at like the peak part of across from like where you get in.
Yeah.
And I was there one day by myself with my boyfriend at the time and our dogs, and we were swimming. There was no one else there, which is super rare. That place is usually packed to gills. And we're just swimming and enjoying, waiting for my friend to show up who lived in Knoxville, lives in Knoxville, because I was visiting from Nashville at the time. And this electrical storm rolled through, or this like little tiny storm cell. I'm from Florida. Unless you got direct strikes near me, I ain't getting out of the water. If I was going to get hit by lightning, it would have already happened. And I've already been brushed by it twice, so I ain't scared now. Kind of feel like,
Floridians are immune to lightning. It happens all the time, so much.
Yeah,
alligators, snakes,
you just get used to it.
mosquitoes. Yeah, we just, whatever. But yeah, so I'm swimming, and then all of a sudden it's like, the wind really picks up, and it's like a dramatic moment in a movie. Like all of a sudden, like the wind picks up and it's starting to blow things into the water, and we're like, maybe we should get out, you know? Cool. We like crawl out, and as soon as we crawl out of the water, like we're just still like drenched, and we haven't even gotten to our towels, and lightning strikes like 20 feet away from us. It hit a tree, and it hit it so hard and so direct, it exploded.
Oh my gosh! I bet that was
And we were
loud.
like, yeah, and it was terrifying because it was so close. We weren't expecting it. It's like still like kind of bluish gray skies, like, and like we're covered in like burnt tree pieces now because it was so close. It's like,
Oh, I'm
our
sure.
lives were in danger, and I'm like, oh my god, this is for real, and we're soaking wet. We have to run through like a chain link fence that says no trespassing, all these brush and everything. We're like, you know, like at this. But like we didn't even get a chance to think about all that because immediately after lightning struck behind us again, and like somewhere else, like right, it struck behind us, next to us. It hit where we were, the direction we have to leave. Like it's like
What?
like 2 or 3 times it hit over there. We're like, you know, like we're gonna die.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Wow.
severe electrical storm.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
we're soaking wet. Like I have all this stuff we have to get. We have 2 dogs. And then I look up because I can hear it and I can feel it. It's just like this buzzy, crackly, and you're just like, what's going on? And I look up and I see a plasma ball of bluish, purple, white light. Like, you know those things you put your hand on in the Science Museum? And
Yep.
Yeah, it was like one of those made out of plasma, and it had to have been 15 to 30 feet across.
Oh my God.
It was so big. Like
I have never heard of ball lightning that big. That's amazing.
it was rolling off of the substation. They like rolled off, and it's like as soon as it got off, like 5 to 15 seconds later, it would pop off. It would disappear, and another one.
See, that's what this thing was doing. They were just like rolling down the line. Yeah.
Yeah, it rolled off and disappeared. Rolled off and disappeared, and then rolled. And I'm like, at this time, I have taken the leashes off the dogs. I threw everything into the blanket, grabbed all 4 corners of the blanket, and threw my shoes in the blanket. And I was like, run for your life! It's like, oh my God, we're gonna die! Like, I've never ever feared for my life so much.
Yeah, getting stuck in those electrical storms in those kind of areas, they're really terrifying. Yours was just a whole nother level.
Well, the fact that you heard it and you felt the vibration, I mean, that had to be terrifying.
I'm surprised you didn't see Mjolnir coming out of the sky.
Jeez.
What I didn't know was Thor landed behind the substation. And I was
Right.
like, okay, but I
There
too
was a
scared to
battle
know.
going on.
Yeah, it's cool, it's cool. But, like that was scary.
Thor and Ultron were duking it out back behind the substation.
Yeah.
It was. I went back because this was 2009 that this happened, and I moved back here in 2018, and I went back out there, and they had bulldozed the substation. I was like,
Oh, wow.
maybe I'm not the only one that had a really freaky experience with electricity here.
That is
Like,
wild.
That was like, whew, but it's like an actual park now. Like they've opened it up. There's parking. It's a really,
That's
really cool place to go. And I don't think anybody will die from lightning there now. But
That's a
that was
good thing.
terrifying. That was terrifying. I've never been so scared of something in my life. Like, we're talking 15 to 30 feet across. These things were huge. They
That
were
is
bigger than
crazy.
the substation. And I'm like, oh my
That
God,
is absolutely crazy.
that CGI thing that goes around with that ball
Yeah,
of light on
yeah.
the railroad tracks. Like, everybody's like, that's CGI. I'm like, but that's exactly what it looks like, guys. And they're
Just
like, what?
bigger.
I'm like, it's just, mine was way bigger. But, like, that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Like, I don't know who did this, but they saw ball lightning in their life, for sure. Because, like, that was
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah, I
No,
think
I
they
think
saw it
you're-
too.
I think your area is not very far from Land Between the Lakes, right?
Nope, we're about 2 hours just from there, and that place is a hot spot. Oh, I want to go camping there so bad.
Good luck
Oh
with
my
that.
Oh man, I was listening to Tony Merkel's The Confessionals podcast with his Land Between the Lakes story, and I was just like glued to my seat.
Mhm.
Like, I'm at work going,
That's crazy stuff
oh
down
my God, and
there.
everyone's like, what is wrong? I'm like, you don't want to know. Like, it's just some UFO stuff you don't want to know.
If you go north a little bit, over in Kentucky, there's the Daniel Boone National Forest.
Yes.
That is also a big hotbed for Dogman.
Really?
Very
Ooh.
big one. And Bigfoot, too.
Oh yeah, you get one, you get the other. It seems like.
That park's also huge. It's
Big
like a
park's
tenth of
always-
Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's a huge park.
Yeah, that is a huge.
Oh yeah.
Tenth of the good part of Kentucky, not the holler part of Kentucky, where you like you slip and fall, you may never get found again.
Yeah, like
There
Mammoth
are
Cave.
places like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. the
I
missing-
mean, Daniel Boone is one of those as well. There's a ton of karst land, so it's a real hazardous area to be in.
Yeah.
If you something happens, you get lost. There's a good chance they're not going to find you because you're going to be 120
Underground.
feet underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's crazy.
That scares me. I don't ever want to be underground. I don't like we have a since I'm in Oak Ridge. Apparently, when the city was built, they built it with nuclear fallout shelters.
That's right.
Yep, we have. I
Oh.
have one in the backyard,
What?
and it's unlocked. And I've never been in it
Oh,
because I'm terrified to go in there by myself. Because no one knows
That
me.
is awesome.
These
Yeah,
things are
I
wasted
don't
on
live in
people.
Oak Ridge. Come in.
You know what we
it's
could
my
do,
house.
Ron?
Yeah.
If we had one of these, do you understand?
I try to drive by all the time, and I'm like, oh, it's still unlocked. That's good.
that would be my own man cave.
Oh
Like, you
gosh.
would never
yeah.
see me. You'd be like, oh, he's in the fallout shelter again.
Oh yeah, I would definitely be in the shelter. There's no question. It'd just be
Yes.
like, where are you at? I'm in the shelter. Yeah, definitely. That's amazing.
It's like not. It's like right off of our property too.
Oh, some people have all the luck. Yeah, they had some monster ones down there too. I mean, big ones.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and most of them are like padlocked and closed up now
Mm-hmm.
because they never took care of them because they never had to.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
they
yeah,
used them
you're-
for storage for a while, and then they just abandoned the things because of upkeep.
I think I'm gonna buy a Geiger counter and then like find somebody who's not chicken and will come in there with me.
Right
Yeah,
around
I
that time
think-
too, was when the
what's
only
the-
documented case of a pilot being shot down by a UFO also happened in that area too.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
Mantell,
true.
wasn't
That's
that? Or
right.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
Mantell.
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 Yeah. Mantell.
Yep. They actually scrambled planes for the sighting in, I think it was 52 or 55. We had a sighting here. If you come into Oak Ridge from Knoxville, you have to come up the Pellissippi Parkway, and you go right through this little town called Solway, and you go right over this. Well, it's a 4-lane bridge now, but I'm sure at the time it was only 2.
Yeah.
And you go right over the man-made lake that we've got there, and that's where the sighting was. Like as soon as you go over that water, that's it. That's in the spot. Like they saw it come out of that water, and I am always like at the window when we drive by. Is there no UFO? Where is it? One day they'll come out, you know.
I think there was a UFO flap going on in the area too, right at that time
Oh, you
Like,
have
yeah, when they're
to.
breaking
in
ground,
East Tennessee.
right when they're breaking ground for ORNL.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it was when they started all the nuclear programs. Is when the big flaps happened, and it happened.
There
in
it is.
Washington, at Los Alamos. And
Here.
it still happens at Los Alamos. It happened here. It doesn't happen here too much anymore. I think that's going to change though. We just got a ton of money from the government to invest in a science corridor for nuclear physics and stuff. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they're putting that money to. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some smart people here and like get this town working because like the sidewalks are from 1955.
That's what you
Like-
call was it blanket funding?
Jen.
Mhm.
Okay, Jen. So here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. You need to get brave, get you a light. You need to go down in the fallout shelter. Watch out for spiders. That's the worst thing that's down there. Spiders. Okay.
They don't bother me.
So look around, and I will guarantee you there are some things there that are worth a fortune at this point. And some of the cooler things, there's probably old civil defense Geiger counters down
Yeah, that's
there.
what I was thinking. There's
Now,
no,
they don't-
CCC or civil defense.
They don't
stuff.
work anymore, but they're still there, and they're still really cool. So
I'm
that would
wondering
be
if they're connected.
what is it?
I'm wondering if they're connected.
Oh, you mean the
One
the
shelter-
sightings and whatnot, and the
No, the shelter.
No, the actual shelters.
oh, if they are connected, interconnected.
Some of them
I don't
were,
know.
but
I don't know. Some were and
the
some
ones
were
that
not.
close together were. Like I know here in West Virginia, there's a couple in Hinton,
Okay.
and of the
were
three,
big.
2 of them have a tunnel between the 2, but the third one is standalone. So it just depends on proximity to one another that they are.
Yeah, I need to go
'Cause-
down to the
yeah.
library and
You know, like
Yeah.
and you were mentioning getting a buddy with a Geiger counter to go down in there. That's,
You're okay.
That's probably the opposite of what you need, because
you
if
don't
you're
know,
detecting
'cause-
radiation down there, that is the opposite of what the shelter was supposed to do.
No, here's my logic on that. Here's the way I thought about it. It protects you from fallout. It will also protect us from the radiation coming out. So if
Oh
nobody's
yeah, they
in
could
there
have stored
and
it
they
like if they
blocked 'em,
stored
they could have stored some stuff in there.
waste.
They
in there.
they could have. I mean, look
Yeah.
what they did at Point Pleasant, Joe. She's got a point, actually. She's
Yeah.
got a really valid point.
My father-in-law works for the DOE cleanup group.
Oh
So
gosh.
Hmm.
I know
So,
for a
yeah.
fact that they have back in the day released toxic stuff into the
Yep.
area here in
Oh,
Oak Ridge.
probably.
So
Yeah, if they were doing that, yeah, you got a good chance there's gonna be something
Yeah.
worse
Yeah.
than radiation down there.
And shoot,
just want
Jen,
to
they're cheap now. I mean,
oh yeah, they're like $5.
go grab
you
you
should,
one. They're
You
cheap.
should run that. You should use your Geiger counter as you're running your tap water and see what it does.
Oh, that won't work. We have a really nice filter system because
Oh,
Oak Ridge, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Well,
you brought up a really good point though, Oak Ridge, and the sightings, they're around those areas to where these programs took place. Jen, we had it up here in West Virginia, the same thing. We had it up near Morgantown, Point Pleasant. That was all. There was a secret area out there that they worked on. Out in the middle of the TNT area.
Y'all got your dumbs up there.
Yeah. So what were they doing? You know what I mean? Exactly. You got your dumbs up there. She's right. She's absolutely
and,
right.
Like what's weird about the West Virginia ones is like they're not your traditional dumbs. Like they're on the same level that all of us live on. It's just that they go into the mountain instead of up the mountain.
Right.
Yeah, they bored literally into the mountain. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but so we found the same kind of thing basically that
Yeah.
these things do occur in those areas. Something was very interested in us.
and there's literally
Developing
about
those
a million abandoned
weapons.
coal mines they could easily turn into something if they wanted to.
Oh yeah,
Oh gosh, yeah.
Especially when coal stopped or like a shaft right up, and then all of a sudden the people they don't want it. It's not profitable. Oh, the government will take it for you at cost. They're like, sure.
They'll sell it to some fake company, so they don't know it's the government.
Hey man, I mean they're big hills. That's a lot of space. That's all I'm going
Yeah.
to say. You can hide anything in there.
It'd be cool if Anonymous would hack the government systems and find out how many hidden bunkers and stuff are between West Virginia and Tennessee.
Jesus.
I would say there's probably close to 1,000 at least.
I bet
That we
they're
don't know
all.
about.
It's one big one, and they're all connected.
There is a theory that they are connected.
It's huge.
Yeah, there is a theory that all the bases are actually connected, like a massive underground subsystem.
Like the boring company did like
Mhm.
an underground tunnel from Los Alamos to like.
Some people
Well,
think that that's
you-
what all the weird noises that we've been hearing lately, like the trumpet noises and stuff, it's due to all that construction.
The Tahoe.
That's
Sound
one of the
and stuff.
explanations.
The Tau Sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
They're across the
Um,
world.
You know what's funny about the Tau Sound that you brought up? We have to remember this. They heard that Tau Sound back in the 90s, right? And what was the theory that they were building the what was the airport, guys? Help me here.
Denver.
Denver. Exactly. Denver
Yeah.
Airport. So it would have been actually being built, theoretically, if there's something down there, they would have been burrowing and digging around there years before that was actually ever built.
I used to live in Denver. That is a creepy airport.
You've been there.
I've been there.
Wow. Is it as crazy?
It's so creepy.
Is it
I
as
love
crazy?
It is. That's mural that everybody's like, this
Yeah.
is some Illuminati. It's there. And
It's
it looks like that.
It
Yeah,
really is
really?
there, and
I've
there's
seen the
worse.
pictures.
There's
And
worse
there's
stuff than
officers
that
with,
mural.
like, dead kids on that mural. It's
That's
horrible.
crazy.
And it's right there, and you're just like.
I think the
But think
scariest
about
thing
it,
is
honestly, where would you put
scariest
the
thing is that
president?
big horse statue at night. That thing is
Yeah.
terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
It's got devil eyes, man.
The red eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the red eyes that glow. The
They lean hard into that theory. They love it there. They lean real hard into
They
it.
do, yeah. It's
they've got
become
signs
part of
up.
their local tourism
it's
stuff.
it's part of their thing now. Is that what you're saying?
It really is. Oh, they lean real hard into it.
I know that when it was, I think Sightings is the one who started to actually talk about the theory that there was more underground, and hey, I mean, it checks as far as the Taos Sound and so forth back in the day. So
Well, I mean, think about it. If you are your country goes coast to coast,
yeah,
and all of a sudden your major political people are in serious jeopardy, where do you put them? In
Yep.
the center of the country. Buckley Air Force Base, right there, is the head of NORAD. They are the first line of defense for missile attacks and airborne defense. They
That's got
have-
Cheyenne Mountain not very far from there too.
Yes, we do. It's
Yeah,
just
man.
a couple hours south.
Space Command.
And you go into the airport when you head out to like the tarmac and stuff, they've got like astronaut statues and stuff. Denver is like linked into space hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of real smart people out there. I mean, the Condon Committee was out of University of Boulder.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Denver
yeah.
is the highest elevation city, right? I
I
think
think so. At least major metropolitan one.
that would make sense for it to have some sort of
They're
NASA
not in the
connection.
mountains. Everyone's like, Denver's got the mountains. I'm like, Denver has the views of the mountains, guys. It's called the Front Range. That's how I always tell if it was gonna be a good day for the weather or not. You don't ask the weatherman. You walk out, I can see the Rockies. It's gonna be clear for at least 4 more hours. If you walk
That's
out in the
pretty
morning,
good.
you can't see the Rockies. You better bring a snow coat. I don't care if it's dry. It will snow.
That's great.
Yes, and speaking of space, I know I was telling someone earlier, I'm actually going back to school for botany and growing space peppers.
Yeah, we heard you were growing space peppers. What is this? Because it draws all kinds of great images in my head of these peppers from space. But please,
Yeah. So apparently last year they're doing a 2-season growing season thing, and last year they had a. Hang on, I have the sticker here. It is the Space Chili Grow a Pepper Plant Challenge, and it's in cahoots with the University of New Mexico.
okay,
They sent a San Marzano or something like that, like pepper plant, and grew it on the ISS. And when they got the seeds, they wanted to see what would happen when those seeds were grown, and they're sending them out to citizen scientists. And I got some of those seeds,
Sweet.
and I'm growing. I have.
Got
I
ya.
started 12, I think. I don't know. I have it all written down because I'm collecting all of the data points for them. But I have like
Jen,
I
you
have
have
eight
you
peppers.
you have space peppers,
I
Jen.
have space peppers.
You have
Everybody's
space
talking about-
peppers, Jen.
I'm gonna
Do
make
you-
hot sauce out of them.
You need to make hot. Yes, you need to make salsa. You need to make space pepper salsa, real space pepper salsa. See
Everybody's
right
like,
there.
you're gonna be able to like get strange powers. I'm like, oh, the first one's not going to University of New Mexico. It's going in my mouth. I'm like, right off the plant. I love peppers. Like,
Oh, I do too. Yeah,
There's this movie
Joe's leery of them, but I love them.
from the 70s, and then some. I think there was one or two in the 80s. It was called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I remember that movie.
attack the killer tomato.
Toes.
Yes,
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah, that
I love
one.
this show.
This is what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
And
Is going to be Attack of the Killer
Right.
Space Peppers.
Yes, my friend, but when a pepper attacks, a pepper attack's completely different.
It does. It
Than a
burns
tomato.
your skin off your body.
No, but from the inside out
Yes,
in the bathroom the next day.
they are diabolical creatures, as is. Can you
Yeah,
imagine what the space variety are?
Ah,
Keep us posted on that for sure, because that's going to be an interesting one to follow.
yeah, I post them all the time. Space Pepper is my. Well, I use a lot of hashtags, but it's my Space Pepper.
You need to make its own Instagram,
Oh, for sure. It's space peppers.
the Space Pepper, and just
It needs its own
day-to-day
account.
I'm just curious at how it affects the flavor of them
I
if
don't
they
know.
came from space,
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
or if it
Yeah.
even will.
I don't actually. What's really funny is I probably should like get one of these plants that never went to space
Yeah,
and see what the
as a
deal is.
control. Yeah.
As a control, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple they don't look like they're gonna be good for like growing
No.
for this. And
What-
I'm gonna try
what
and get
type?
them to go outside.
What type did you say they were, Jen?
They are sand something or other. Oh gosh, they're like sweet peppers, I think.
They're like a sweet pepper. Okay, that's
Aw.
yeah,
okay.
they're
Okay.
not like
yeah, but still, I like to see what it does to them. That's kind of cool.
yeah.
I mean, you know, and
I'd
the
like
best
to know
thing
what
about
their Schofield unit is, and then go for it. I don't care.
yeah, I mean, well, you got to look at it like this: a sweet pepper, everybody can do that. So
It's science.
it's science. There's science peppers, everyone.
I can't wait. I have so many plants. I'm gonna be so excited. I have a huge garden outside too. Like I have like up to here in like actual garden plants. So like space peppers.
Wow.
Gonna be awesome.
Yes, I know. I can't wait to have some space peppers. How about you guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that should be
I'm
interesting.
For real.
I'm gonna grow so many. Everyone's gonna be like, I want some. I'm gonna have like
Yes,
a
they
list of
will.
Yeah,
addresses to be
they
like,
will.
Here's two for you. Here's two
Oh,
for you.
I'm not kidding, girl.
I just want some
That's
seeds out of one of them in the future. That's
they
all I
will
want.
definitely
I
be.
have leftover seeds. If you guys want some, I have
What?
leftover seeds.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great. We'll exchange addresses because I can get them to grow. I'm getting ready to start my peppers now.
You know, Joe's a chef, right?
Are you really?
Yeah. Classically trained chef.
Yeah.
And all that fun
Nice.
stuff.
I've been in the kitchens and
And I eat food, so you know, there's that.
oh yeah, total foodie. So.
Yeah, I grow a few different kinds of peppers, and I'm actually getting ready to start my seeds in the window here
What kind of
this
peppers?
week actually.
What kind of peppers do you normally grow?
I'm growing some cosmic sweets.
Okay.
They're not really
Sure.
cosmic.
They're not
I was
cosmic
gonna
like
say that's
pears.
ironic.
You can crossbreed them and then they will be
See.
next year.
What they are, all they are is a it's a variety of like heirloom sweet peppers.
Yeah.
So they get like all kinds of crazy colors on them. So they don't look like your typical red, blue, or red, greens, yellows. And then I grow Thai chilies, I grow serranos and poblanos.
All the tasty ones.
Yep, all the ones that are good for cooking. You know that you use a lot in the kitchen. So
My father-in-law sent me some. He actually gave us Carolina Reapers.
oh
Didn't tell me what they were,
Oh,
and I made salsa out of them a while back. And
How many did you use?
One, and it was like, guys, it was like
Yeah,
the size of a nickel, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe bigger.
that's about right.
And I de-seeded it with gloves on because it's
Thank
pepper.
God.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. But I made like a gallon of salsa and put that bad boy in there, and it was like you ate it, and then you're like, "Oh, that's good. Oh, that's spicy."
Yes.
Everything
And
is
just
sweating now.
swells.
Everything just starts sweating, and it was
Yes.
like,
it creeps up on you.
"Oh, what was that?
Yes.
What was that with like a three pot or like?" My mom was like, "Which one did you use?" I was like, "One of these." He goes, "Oh, that was the Reaper." I was like, "What?"
Oh
Gave me
yeah.
a Carolina Reaper. Why? But now I know I can eat them, so
Yes.
that's why I'm not afraid of these space peppers.
They're not
I'm just gonna
bad.
eat one.
That's what people don't get. It's like, you know, I mean, there's a certain way you got to eat those things.
Yes.
People, you don't just do that. There's a way to eat those things.
Oh, no.
But yeah, once you do it, I mean, like you said, and don't you find that like I mean, there's only a couple of the really hot peppers that really have taste, and I think that I think a Ghost is probably the one that has the most taste for
Yes.
me. Don't you think? It has that fruity. I love a Ghost pepper. Man, I love
Yeah.
Ghost chili.
I like habaneros, especially when you pair
Yes.
them with like a mango or pineapple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
See, habanero is about as hot as I
Yes.
like to go. That's just me.
See, that's where I would have kept myself too if I had the choice, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing.
And now she's immune to it. She's fine. She can go.
She's eating a ghost pepper
She
and
can
had
do it.
like her tongue's surface stripped.
Ghost is nothing.
I'm
Reaper
also
is the
selfish,
one.
So like my stomach's cast iron anyways, so
There's that.
I've heard there's a new
See.
strain coming out of India that makes ghost peppers look like jalapenos. I
Dude,
forget
they
what
make
strain they
every
are.
year. Every year
Always
somebody
something.
vies for the next big one.
Yeah.
Who's got the
it's-
hottest?
you're never gonna get over them Carolina Reapers though.
They're
man-
amazing. No.
That man has extra peppers that aren't even like classified with their
Yeah.
genetics yet that are so hot that he's like, wait till someone else does it, and then I'll bring that bad boy out.
Yeah. Well, they were using them at the Department of Defense actually had them at one point on their lists. They were actually using those peppers for like research into like pepper spray and whatnot.
Oh,
Into
that makes sense.
in non-lethal
Yeah, not for torturing
deterrence.
terrorists or anything.
I mean, maybe that too. I don't know, but they were definitely using it.
I don't know. Y'all ask Ron DeSantis. He was down there in Guantanamo Bay. He'll know.
Hey, it could happen, man. Let's be real.
I mean, they used to torture them with Barney music, Britney Spears, all kinds of
Every
weird
time anyone
stuff.
says that, I
That's
just
cruel
go
and
right back to
unusual.
the men who stare at goats. Like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
God. And then finding out most of that's true.
Great deal of that's true.
What is
actually.
going on? Like, I feel like I've taken crazy pills or something.
There's more
I
truth
hit-
in
I
that
hit the
movie
beat
than
and
there,
everything went nuts.
there's literally more truth in that movie than anyone could ever believe.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm reading his
they
book
wrote the
right
script
now.
based off of.
Oh,
government
really?
documents.
Yeah.
UFOs in the government.
Yeah.
John B. Alexander. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is, and he loves the fact that they made that movie with him.
Yep.
Oh, he leans hard into that. He's like, oh yeah, and this person was this person in the movie who did a really great job, and this person not so great. He wasn't really like that. It was like, dude.
Yep.
The Coen brothers. We know they're making shit up.
It's that whole program was absolutely real and it was incredible. Is what it
I think it was the Coen brothers who the internet was obsessed that they were part of the Illuminati at one point. I think it was them because they claimed that there were like little hints in their movies of their connection to it.
Everybody
We're
is,
chasing
Brandon.
Beyonce too, and
Jeez.
I got an invitation to be in the Illuminati.
I did
Oh
years
yeah, and
ago,
that dude who
ages ago.
created Twin Peaks, people were like, he's an occultist. Look at all his movies. I'm like, no, I think he's just weird.
Yeah,
I don't think
know.
he's
You're doing it wrong,
occultist.
Joe. You're
That
doing
was
it
a self high
wrong.
five, baby.
Is that what
Come
it
on
was?
stage.
Okay.
Yeah, I love when people are like, "Oh, join the Illuminati," and then they mix it up with the Freemasons, and I'm like,
Yeah, you don't really know what you're talking about now, do you?
"Nope."
But that's how you can tell. I mean, that,
All right, you're crazy.
yeah, but that's how you can tell. That what you just
So,
said.
Somebody who researches UFOs and cryptids, I'm calling you crazy. You have a problem.
You're right. That's normally our basis too. Is like our deadline or baseline is like, if we're calling you crazy,
There's something wrong.
there's probably something you should look into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we typically don't do that, so there's that too.
Yeah.
So it's really extra special case.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
that happens with us, like
Special K for
it
real.
is.
It's an extra special case
Yeah.
if that happens.
Do you guys have any like unique cryptids down your way? Like unique cryptid stories?
Like localized stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess the hoop snake, and that's a real deal. That's a real thing.
Now I've heard of this.
Oh yeah.
Can you go over that? Yeah, go over that from your angle.
The hoop snake is an old Appalachian tale that mostly grandmothers tell about, snake that you walk up on, it gets scared, it bites its tail in its mouth, it hops up and rolls down the hill like a
Mhm.
hoop. And for the longest time, people were like, that's insane. You're crazy. Snakes don't do that. And then some guy in India found one. And it did that. And he caught it on camera.
Yeah.
It's real. Hoop snakes are real. That is a real defense mechanism.
That is amazing.
It's
I totally
incredible.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So you
Yeah.
basically it's a living Ouroboros.
I don't know.
It bites
I mean,
its
it doesn't try to eat it.
right, but it bites its tail and rolls away. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just amazing.
Maybe that's where
It's
that story
mostly
comes
downhill.
from.
Yeah. I don't know, but like
I mean, it would work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but
live
there's-
tales have a lot more truth than people want to admit.
And what's
Oh,
interesting
gosh,
too is
yeah.
there's a skink species that does that,
Really?
and there's also the sun gazers that are from what country? I think It's an armored lizard that does it from another country, but
Okay.
they're really cool.
Probably Australia. Armored lizard. Just
Yeah, it's
throwing that out there.
their actual the genus name is the Smogus something. It's nicknamed after Smog from The Hobbit
Oh,
because
Huh.
they look like little miniature dragons. They're gorgeous, gorgeous little lizards, and their defense mechanism too is they bite their tail and will roll down the mountain.
I'm surprised we never had any of those.
Well, Steve works with them, so it's not out of reach.
No, I'm good. I don't want any more lizards. Enough cryptids are good for us.
Right?
they work in the reptile trade. If you didn't know that.
Oh,
Yeah, we
that's
breed
cool.
exotic animals as well.
Oh, that's neat. I
Cryptids,
love turtles.
real ones,
Turtles.
actually.
I had an iguana as a kid, and I'll never do that again.
Which one?
You know,
I had an iguana. And
Oh, you poor thing.
I've
I
got a
rather have
scar.
turtles. I like turtles.
Turtles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a bunch of
turtles.
bugs.
I got a turtle. I got Turd Ferguson is living.
He's got an amazing turtle.
Um,
It's amazing.
he's my buddy. My son loves
I
him.
interact with that Twitter handle. Are you telling me something?
Well, but yeah, I've got a scar on my chin from a 6-foot iguana that tail whip just pow.
Oh God.
No
I
thanks.
used to have scars on my arms, but I was a kid, and now I'm an adult.
They fade out.
Yeah, they do. I used to
My cousin has had like every pet in the
bad.
book, and for some reason, almost all of them have died from cancer. He had 2 iguanas, and they both had a leg. They were opposite legs that got a huge tumor on them, and they rotted off. Like, I don't know what it is about his house and cancer.
I don't know, but I'd probably get a Geiger counter in there. That'd be a
Yeah.
see. That's
He's
kind of
even
area
had
you want to.
fish that had tumors.
No,
Okay,
no,
so there's actual, like, the government has actual cancer houses.
that's
You should look that up. That's a
that's
real thing.
probably
Like,
one.
Mm.
Yeah, like they're buildings that have been like radiated or something.
Radiated.
Those are
Yeah,
bad news bears to be in them, and you like everybody that's been in them has died from cancer. Kind of
Oh,
deal.
wow.
So you may want to have your friend look into that.
Wow.
Might be time to move.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's called
Maybe
Maybe
biological.
something's up with the land.
Or maybe somebody just made a lot of meth in it before he got it. I don't
Maybe.
know, but,
Could be that.
Like, that does it too. And
You've got radon gas. I mean, it could be a radon leak. It could be anything, man. I would
Yeah.
definitely check that for real.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's weird. That's really
crazy.
weird.
we had those rumors when I was growing up outside Patrick Air Force Base. They'd have houses. And be like, you don't want to buy the house. It's a cancer house. We're like, oh, what? Okay. Nope. That's all I need to know. I'm out. You know?
Yeah. Well,
If it's
some of that.
cancer, I don't want to know.
Well, either way, I mean, if they're doing some kind of experiments with radiated material, that stuff doesn't just go away unless it's cleaned up properly. And most of the places weren't cleaned up properly. Let's be real. So
And
I can
what's
see
good
it.
with cleaning up properly is getting it all in one location.
Yeah.
And storing it.
Yeah, it's not.
There's no cleaning it.
It's not going to happen. So I think you're right. I mean, that's definitely something to think about, Brandon. You might want to have him look at that.
Yeah, you might
They
want
don't
to
hang out there.
reach out and let them know.
I'm definitely not going. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah. I'll try to.
we're we're coming up here into our Tom wall here. Tell everybody where they can find you.
All over Twitter.
All over Twitter. What are your handles on Twitter?
Well, I used to. I have my backup is Anomaly Library, and you'll see my face as that one. And then I have the Spooky South. It's just Spooky South, and that's the one I use mostly. It's in Twitter jail right now, but it should be open and operational by the time this hits the air. You know,
Alrighty, we'll put links to both of those
Yeah.
down.
No,
here.
what's your pepper thing?
the I have to look at the thing. It's such
Yeah, I wouldn't put that up. So because that's kind of a big deal.
Space Chili Grow a Pepper Plant Challenge.
Okay, space pepper. Okay,
Space-
I'll get it all, and it'll be up
Say it
here
3 times fast.
right underneath
Yeah.
there. I'm not gonna say it 3
I'm
times
not
fast.
growing them. Like space peppers, guys. They're space peppers.
Space Peppers.
They're peppers in space.
Hi, they're
Dun,
gonna
dun, 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 dun. There's this theme.
That's it.
We got it, man. That's it.
Say that like Ghost
Yeah.
Napa Joe.
That's it.
We also write jingles.
Yes, that's good. That's good. I mean, you got to be multifaceted. Multiple income streams. You know?
Oh my
Really?
God. Well, Jen, this has been absolutely a blast.
This is
Literal blast. We want to get you back when you get your peppers grown
Yeah.
too. I want to hear about it. We got to have a pepper update, even if you just come back for like a little bit to
The
say,
new
"Hey guys,
segment. We'll
here's
bring
the
you in for the
peppers."
new segment and give you the pepper update.
Yeah.
If that's it, if you got anything else, any new reports or stuff like that, we'll cover it all. Make it a whole episode.
Yeah. All right. They just got their most of the pepper seeds or plants now, seedlings, have their second set of leaves just now, and one really strong one has 3 sets of leaves.
See, that's the mutant one right there. You got to watch that
I
one.
can't wait. That's plant A.
You watch
That's the one that gives you superpowers.
That could
Yeah.
be it. That could be it.
And we'll be like,
Yeah, it's like the
disclosure.
That is Pepper X.
that'd be great. Well, Jennifer, thanks for joining us. We'll, like I said, definitely get updates in the future from this pepper project, and then maybe exchange some seeds, and we'll grow some on our end and compare notes, see what happens in our altitude versus yours.
Give that girl some recipes, man. I mean, you've got some
Give
good
different
salsa recipes.
and
You know,
some
she's
good
got space peppers. Give her some salsa recipes for the space peppers.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Go check out Spooky South and follow her over on Twitter. And then, are you anywhere else? Is it just on Twitter?
I mean, my Gmail is spookysouthcollective@gmail. So if you're in the Oak Ridge or anywhere in the East Tennessee area and you got some weird stuff going on, I'd be more than happy to come out.
All right. Well, we're going to put that email down there as well. That way
Yeah.
they can reach out to you, any of our listeners that are in your area that are into this
And the book nerds,
paranormal
join
stuff.
the UFO book club. Come join
Yeah, what's your book
Yeah.
club?
Tell
We
us
gotta
about
set
that
up.
a little bit before we go.
It's just once a month we get together and we talk about UFO books and we pick them. We right before we have our space is going to be June 12th on Paul Radin's The Trickster. And if you do join the community or you find me on there, I have a free link to the book. I will almost always find a free link to the book because I'm poor and I don't want to go and spend another $6,000 on a library, as I have a huge library of books I haven't read already. So
If you want some good local books, a friend of ours, Dewey Edwards, he lives in East Tennessee and he writes a lot of books. He has a book about the Bell Witch. He just did a new one that's mostly about the Mantell UFO experience.
oh yeah,
Yeah, his stuff's all on Amazon.
The Deucer is awesome.
pass my info along.
That's right.
Absolutely.
To
Ooh, I see
there. Oh, it's trying to come through. There. It's
I am
on the sky. Yeah, that's the one.
You're going to have to
Anyway.
put it in front of your chest.
Yeah. Oh, that'll work, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
microphone. There you go. Oh, yes. I see. Oh,
There
the
it is.
Cat Eye Nebula. I like that. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used that as his book cover, which is great.
So yeah,
I'm
look up some of Dewey's stuff, and he's right there in your general vicinity too, and he builds all kinds of paranormal equipment and does investigations and whatnot.
He's a great
too,
guy.
So.
He has a bookshop out at his house that he runs too.
Come in the atomic shelter with me.
Probably, yeah.
He
You've
would-
got
he
your
would be
atomic
down
filter
for it.
guy, Deuster.
He would be down
I'm
for it.
volunteering Dewey right now. So Deuster, when you hear this, you're going in. We're sending you into a shelter, just so you know.
I promise it's right by my house. It's like in the middle of Oak Ridge, so like
And there's space peppers.
EMTs will get there. It's
And they're
fine.
space peppers.
And yeah, we got space.
So,
And
there you
all
go.
kinds of other peppers and tomatoes and all the good stuff.
I'm sure he'd love to go investigate that.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, thanks for joining us, guys. This has been an absolutely fantastic conversation, and I can't wait to get some updates from you in the future. Remember, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Go check out Jennifer's Twitter handle, and if you're in her area and have some spooky stuff going on in the South, don't forget you can report those things to her, and she'll get in and into them and help you out with that.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, if you've had a sighting as well that you want to report to us, you can head over to wildandweirdwv.com, hit the report a sighting tab, and fill out the report. We can get that sent out to researchers in your area if we're unable to make it ourselves, and get boots on the ground to do their due diligence. If you want to continue to support Wild and Weird Radio and keep it free for eons and eons to come, go to wildandweirdwv.com, click on the store tab, and go ahead and feel free to peruse our wares. You can pick up an order from there, get it sent straight to your home, and you never have to worry about a subscription, about an weekly or annual fees. You can just go pick up something cool and get it sent straight to your house. You know, you never know what it's going to be. Could be a little skull. Could be a Mothman. Could be a UFO. You know, it could be prints. It could be patches. It could be anything you want. We'll send it. Then remember, like, share, subscribe over on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple, go leave us a review. We actually read those, and we've got some pretty amazing reviews going on over there. Thank you, everybody who listens week in, week out. And remember, the next time that you are going outside, beware of the space peppers, because Jennifer is growing them now. Attack of the killer space peppers. Attack. Stay wild and weird, everybody.